Phil Perry is here. He is, of course, covers the Patriots for NBC Sports Boston. He's on the station all the time. He's going to join us now every Thursday at this time for a couple breaks, as we are very good. It's good to have him. All right, Phil. Okay, I've heard all the analysis of Week 1. It was the first time again in my life that I had found myself not instinctually rooting against the Patriots. I guess not having Belichick is a big thing for me. Great win, biggest dog of the week. So, you hear about teams treating the first couple weeks of the season as a kind of like an extended preseason. A lot of compliments to Mayo having a very physical camp. We can turn these lights off, guys, if you would. I'm trying to look at Phil and I'm being blinded. So, all right. So, Mayo had a very physical camp.
Right.
So my question is this, in your opinion, for the Patriots, that's awesome. Have a physical camp, come out of the gates going. But for a team that wants to have a long playoff run, maybe that's not the best modus operandi because you obviously want to have something left in the tank as the season goes on. Is that part of the reason for the Patriots' success in Week 1 in that, or maybe their success they'll have early in the season, is that Mayo was able to make that trade?
Yes, I believe it is.
Okay.
And it's because the Bengals have basically told us what their plan is based on how they handled, leave the guys with the contract situations out of it, but how they handled their starters in preseason. Those guys just didn't play very much.
Right.
So they weren't targeting Week 1. They weren't looking at Week 1 and saying, we want to be at our best when we kick that ball off to start the 2024 season. That just wasn't how they approached it. The Patriots, on the other hand, I think have to do that to try to steal as many wins as they can. I think it's additionally important, beyond just the winning and losing of it, when you have a first-time head coach, not even a first time in the organization, but first rookie head coach, period, to be able to have your team experience some level of success, to me, is critical to maintain the buy-in that you have and that I think he really did have during camp. I mean, it's a youngish team, but there are a lot of veterans on the roster that I talked to after camp that said, damn, thank God we've got this week now in between the fourth preseason game and the first regular season game, and we've got that extra time to rest because our bodies need it, because that was a hard camp. And this is guys like Jabril Peppers who have played other places, who played for a number of years. So that was a real thing, and it definitely helped them in Week 1, but I think it helped them on the other side too, because the Bengals almost treated it in the opposite fashion.
Yeah, and it's interesting, and I totally agree with you. I think it's great for Mayo, and I think it's great for the team. And any win that you can get this season is important because, like, seriously, for culture and everything else.
I understand. This is a season we all agreed 4 or 5 wins to get one right off the bat, especially with the schedule looking the way it does. If you go 0-4, 0-5, 0-6, not only fans but the coaching staff's like, oh God.
But then if you're ownership, you don't know. I mean, what am I going to do? Like, I mean, if they can't win, and I know we're not good, but we're not. I mean, we're flailing, and so you have that. But the reason I asked you that, Phil, it's not even so much the Patriots, it's just the reaction to some of these teams' performances in Week 1. It's like, all right, like I mean, seriously, they're horrible, and like, yeah, no, they're not. You don't know anything. To say that is one of the more ignorant statements based on Week 1. Go ahead.
But something that you said, Phil, about Cincinnati and how they kind of treated this game, and it doesn't take anything away from the Patriots' win. If anything, I use it as a means to show how well and how good things are going with Jerod Mayo at the helm here. It was the Bengals who screwed up with a guy who is not a first ever coach of a football team, with a seasoned quarterback in there who is supposed to be really good, who, whether they took the Patriots lightly or whether they were completely undone by the injuries that they were dealing with offensively, they were the ones who were ill-prepared and not ready to go. And I don't believe that it happens all that often. We talk about trap games and teams get caught looking ahead to the next week. That wasn't the case with Cincinnati. I really don't believe it. I think they were just not as well prepared as the Patriots were, and you got to give credit to Mayo and the rest of the team for their preparation and having the more professional operation going into Week 1 in a matchup with virtually any other team in the league. That's a huge win because That was one of my big questions the offseason for people who were saying, they'll get 5, 6, 7 wins. Well, how's Mayo going to be as a head coach through week one, through camp and their preparation, and through how they got them ready for week one so far? It's impressive.
I would say it's been a good couple months for Mayo. I know the quarterback conversation got a little wonky at times, right? Especially in terms of the messaging, and Drake May's actually out playing Jacoby Brissett, but you're going to play Jacoby Brissett week one. But between how he handled the Judon situation, which I think was actually handled pretty well, and he was able to sort of assert himself as a coach who's going to have some standards, and you're not just going to be sitting on trash barrels and sitting on blocking pads and watching us in a sweatshirt and sweatpants while we're out here for the first day of pads and practice. So can you just get the hell off the field, please? And then he's traded for a third-round pick. They actually end up getting a pretty good return for him despite that. And the fact that they start the season the way they did and they had the camp the way they did, and he does have buy-in from those veteran guys. I just think it is critical. Even if they played well and lost, I think to have the win early off the board is just so important for validation. It's just it's shown that you can do it at least once now. And if they had gone 0-4 to start the season, even if they were improving incrementally, if guys were still bought in, if you don't have that result on the board, it's really hard to get the belief the way I think you have it right now.
Yeah, if you're the coaching staff or the front office, you have to have a great sigh of relief that you have that win. I mean, absolutely.
Across the board, coaches, Robert Kraft, everybody.
And if you win this Sunday, which is possible, unlikely but possible. If you win this Sunday, I mean, then there's a tremendous. But you know what? But then you're almost in a situation. This is just complete nonsense. But you're in a situation like where then if you start like losing, people are going to be like, they peaked at the beginning of the season.
Yeah, right.
but
you know, I think it's interesting. You were talking about overreacting to things. I don't think anyone's overreacted to the Patriots.
No,
that's unanimous.
No, but there are teams that lost or didn't like particularly play well. Like, does Cleveland have a bad defense?
No.
Is Cleveland's defense bad?
No, they got shredded, but they're not bad.
Yeah, like they're not. Deshaun Watson sucks, but there's like a big long history of that, and now it just is getting worse from off the field. But that defense doesn't suck. Like, it's not going to be a bad defense. But you hear people going, Cleveland's in crisis with that. All right. Calm down.
You feel the same way about the Jets?
Yeah.
Because the Jets' defense should be excellent.
Yes.
And they weren't the other night.
I think that there's going to be, without Reddick without Huff or whoever the hell they got that they traded for, that there's going to be a problem with their pass rush. But no, I don't think that the Jets are going to have a bad defense this year. And I don't think that the offense is going to be that bad. No, I don't think the Jets are going to give up 6 straight possessions with 8 straight possessions with the score. No, I don't think that's the case. I think people completely blew that game out of proportion.
I think that's fair.
Now, listen, the Jets might not make the playoffs. Jets could even lose to the Patriots. Not saying that's not off the table. It probably is, but I'm saying it's not definitely
off the table, Fred.
But I don't think they're a bad team. And by the way, no one in New York does either. Like, no one that I've heard or read in New York is, like, panicking. It's just nice to have a quarterback that's not the worst quarterback in football. You know? It's a little bit nice in that fashion. All right. And I thought Rodgers was fine.
If you like that clip, and how could you not? Check out more videos from Toucher and Hardy here. Point slightly up and to the left. For more Patriots analysis and opinion, hit this playlist. Point slightly down and to the left. And for the latest from the Sports Hub, download at 985thesportshub.com.